Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of the Millersberg Construction Podcast. I am so excited for our guest today. We have Alan Lopez here with us. Alan has almost 3 decades worth of experience in the training and education field, 15 of those being with GAF the last 15 years. GAF is our primary shingle provider and shingle partner. Alan, will you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your role at GAF?
Yeah, I didn't know it was 3 decades. That's a long time.
I looked at your LinkedIn.
That's a long time. Yeah, I'm obviously a trainer by profession, even before GAF. But before that, obviously, originally from Mexico City. I was born there, grew up in Mexico until I was 16. And then for whatever reason, my mom thought it would be a good idea to come to the United States, which we have not regret. So it's been really good. Grew up in the state of Utah after coming here. That's where I first came. Finished high school, did the college thing. It's funny because the reason I ended up in education or some type of training education field is because when I graduated high school, I didn't want to do math. I hated math. And so I took a path of, I want to be a high school teacher. And so I went to college, wanted to be a high school teacher. So I took I had 2 majors. Spanish literature and history, perfect for a teacher. And soon after I started my junior year in college, I realized that teachers don't get paid.
That's right. We love them.
Yeah,
we appreciate them, but you are so right.
I absolutely love what they do.
Yes.
I figured there was a lot of politics in education. There were a lot of things that teachers did excellently. Administrations didn't do very well, and so I figured I didn't want to. At the same time, I was paying for college myself, so I was working for a company called a credit card company called Discover Card. That's where I started my, if you will, my training career, working for them as a trainer, training people that will be on the phone telling you about your balance or anything like that. So I started there when I was in college, and I really liked it. And I think I liked it because I was able to educate people. I was able to take them through knowledge bases, quizzing them, graduating them. The whole thing was a shorter period of time. The class lasted a month, and then we just you let them go into their job, and then I started liking that, and so I eventually got another job as a trainer for another company. Worked there, worked for Discover Car for 6 years, then worked for the other company for another 6. I'm a little bit longer than that, but I eventually ended up at GAF. I think. While I was in college, my best friend was a roofer. Okay. And that's how I got, I had heard of GAF. Yeah. Just because we did a lot of, single ply. We didn't do a lot of shingles. It was single ply. And I would help them at times. I wasn't the installer, but I would go to the job sites and hey, hand me this, hand me that kind of thing. And it was funny because he was the white boy, I was not, and so I was handling things, and so it was now in retrospect, I looked at it, I was like, well, that's funny. I was helping him out, and I wasn't the roofer, and so, but when I got the opportunity with GAF 15 years ago, when I was looking, this is how old this was. This doesn't exist anymore, but I looked at monster.com for a job. Oh, yeah. And that's how I found it. I was a little bit tired of traveling all over the country for the other company, and I figured, hey, might as well work for another company that's asking me to travel 70 to 80% of the time.
I was just gonna say, I was like, don't you do that now?
So the difference was the other company was asking me to do trainings like 2 weeks like 2 week long trainings. Yeah. And they wouldn't let me come back over during the weekends. Yeah. So they would tell me, hey, go train in Georgia. I was going to Augusta, Georgia, El Paso, Texas, but stay there for 2 weeks. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't like that. So when I looked at the posting for GAF and said, hey, you get to come home, you leave on Monday, you come back on Thursday. I had a young family at the time. It made perfect sense. Mm-hmm. So I took the job. I took a risk. They asked for 3 things. They needed someone that was bilingual. I was like, I got that. They needed someone that knew how to train. I said, I got that. And somebody that knew how to roof. I said, well, how hard could it be? I saw my friend. I helped him. So I jumped on the opportunity, and sure enough, after a few intense interviews and a few months, I was hired by GAF on, this is the best day ever, April Fool's.
No way.
That was my first day at GAF.
Oh, amazing.
And so I've been here since then.
Yeah, that is so cool. I love that so much. So GAF itself, they've been around for a very, very long time. They're like a household name in the roofing industry. Can you tell us just a little bit more about GAF and what kind of sets them apart when you're looking at other shingle brands?
Um, I had a good friend that one of my mentors at GAF that always said this to me. When you, at the end of the day, when you look at shingles, shingles are shingles. Four components, asphalt, whatever, granules. But what separates a brand, I think, to your question, I think it's integrity, it's consistency, and I think it's partnership. I really believe on that. I think one of the things that separates GAF from other competitors is that we don't look at contractors as a means of a flow of business, right? What I mean by that is we don't look at contractors as, hey, buy our product. That's all you're good for, to buy our product. I think what GAF, because of our integrity, because of our goals and our consistency, we looked at contractors as partners.
Yeah.
They are, without the contractor, we're doomed.
Yeah.
It's just like that. And so that's, I think, the main thing that separates us from any other competitor is the way that we look at the contractor and how the contractor affects what we do.
Yeah.
So we do things that benefit the contractor.
No, absolutely. And even we pride ourselves so much on being a preferred contractor with GAF. Like, we love the Master Elite program. We love the President's Club. Like, those are big goals that we set for ourselves and our company every single year. What are some things that GAF looks for in contractors that they partner with?
I think one of the things that we look in contractors I think you just mentioned a couple of things, right? Because if we are asking to go in to find a partner, we want contractors that are looking for a partner, right? So, and what do I mean by that? I think, and this is very important for homeowners, especially your customers, is when we looked at a contractor to partner with us, is we want to know what type of business are they running? Are they just slapping shingles left and right, and they're just leaving their homeowners hanging, or hoping that what they do is stakes? Then that's not our contractor. Do we like volume, and we want contractors to do a lot of roofs? Absolutely, everybody loves that. But what we look in a contractor is same values that we have. We want a contractor that has integrity, a contractor is consistent, a contractor that is looking to grow, and so that we can grow together. And so when we look for a contractor, we look for those characteristics. What is a contractor? I think a big one for us is, even though we don't say it, I think we look for a contractor that's involved in their community.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you brought that up. I think that's so true. Yeah, especially all the programs GAF offers. Like, we take full advantage of the Habitat for Humanity program that you guys offer. We do the 5-6 Habitat houses a year, every single year. I know GAF does like roofs for troops. Like, yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is a big core value for us here as a community involvement. And GAF totally mirrors that and matches those efforts in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think it's we don't say it a lot, but there, like you mentioned, Megan, there's a lot of our programs that they're not for the contractor to say, okay, this is how you sell more roofs, right?
Right.
And they're like, hey, listen, if you take advantage, hey, if you find a former military, an active duty military, and hey, give them a break, right? This is how we honor them. So I think it's very important for us. The other programs that we have, Habitat, right? Let's give back to the community, the local community. We also have the Roofing Academy, which it makes absolutely no sense for homeowners or sometimes for roofing companies, but we looked at people that are looking for other opportunities. We partner with contractors that are looking to expand or to grow their business. Maybe they're looking for installers. So we train them. So there's different ways that we try to help the community and help the contractor help the community. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are in that market, right? They're the ones that they're in, like here in Georgetown, Northfield, and Dundas. This is your market.
Yeah, absolutely. We were at an event a couple weeks ago, and we had our big like President's Club banner up and GAF, and another roofing company had come by, and the guy asked, I think it was his boss or his manager, he's like, what even makes GAF so special? And his boss or manager was like, oh, it's just like marketing and training, basically. They didn't know I was the marketing person. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, those two things are so bad. Like, I do think GAF does a great job of marketing, but I want to get into the training too. Why is all of the training GAF offers so important to you guys? I mean, it's an imperative part of your role. Can we get into that a little bit? Why GAF is so passionate about the training aspect and what they offer contractors and crews, not just the contractors?
I think the biggest thing with training is that nobody else is, and even to this day, I just don't understand why training is not a key value to any other group, right? A GAF. And I think for me, it's great as far as being in the training organization at GAF. CARE, which is the actual name of our training arm, Center for the Advancement of Roofing Excellence. It started a long time ago. I think it's now 20, 30 years old. And the vision was this. I think it goes along with the values: integrity, consistency, right? And I think what it does do in training, one of the things that we pride ourselves is, because the contractors are a partner, we have the obligation not only to sell the contractor our product, but we have the obligation to help the contractor grow. And that is our duty as a manufacturer, GAF. This is something that it's very integrated with who we are. And so I could sell you the product. I could give you the instructions how to install it. And you could take care of the rest. There's nothing that tells me in ethically that I have to train you. I just have to give you the instructions. And you say you're a roofer, you should know how to install it. But we go beyond that. I think what it does, it creates a bond between not only the contractor, but their installers and the manufacturer. That's the first thing that it does, right? So if I come to your office, which I've been in the back many times over the years, training, it creates a bond with the installer. I think the installer understands and gets a little bit more comfortable with the material. So the practical side of that, if you train me how to do your product, I'm more likely to install your product. Right? Because you're trained. So that's the practical side. The ethical side is we're partners. And training, it's a big part of that partnership. Not only I'm going to train you in installation. You mentioned a couple of things, President's Club Master Leads. We hold special events for our Master Leads where we don't talk about installation at all. We talked about other things like business. How's the business? We want to make sure that we bring individuals that can train, whether internal from GAF or external, that understand business. What's going to happen in roofing in 10, 15 years? What's going to happen in roofing in 5 years? How can you be ahead of it? What are some of the tools that you have, whether internal tools or external tools that you can have to grow your business? So training for us, it's fundamental for the growth, not the growth of GAF. And I want to make sure that whoever is watching this understands that. Not fundamental for the growth of GAF. That's kind of a perk, if you will. But it's fundamental for the growth of the contractor.
Yes.
Training is expensive.
Yeah.
It's an investment that needs to be made. And so part of our partnership is to help alleviate that.
Yeah.
So we can give you a good trainer, a good training, good topics that are relevant to your business. Then we're in this together.
Yeah.
You're going to grow, we're going to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many avenues to that training. Just for anybody listening, GAF offers online trainings, in-person trainings, trainings where you travel, trainings where you come here. There is so much to it. We've had you guys in-house a ton over the last year, and we just really appreciate that. Like, we've had some of your regional and national trainers come in and meet with our sales staff. I do want to get into a little bit to the installer training, because when I first started here, that was something that was so unique and interesting to me. We have the care center here now, which is new-ish in the last couple years.
About 2 years old.
Yep. And the fact that we can send our installers and our crews, who we specifically chose to partner with, to be trained on new products or new ways, why is that piece so important as well?
So one thing before I answer that, I think when I started with GAF, we had one training center.
Okay.
15 years ago, one training center. I believe now, I may be wrong, but we have at least 10 training centers
Wow.
in the country. We may have
Wow.
more, but I'm just going to play it
Yes.
safe. Why? Why do we have these things? We could come. You just mentioned it. We can come to you. We can do it online. You can come. You can go travel. And one of my biggest things when I was the regional trainer for the Central was, it's fun and that we can go to the contractor's office. But wouldn't it be better if we were able to bring all these contractors, whether one at a time or in bunches, and just educate them? And one of the things that our market here in Minneapolis was very unique at the time is we did this, but we rented space. We rented. I remember we did it at the National Sports Center for a while. We did it at other locations, hotels and whatnot. We they've been doing that even before I got to Minneapolis. And so when we had the opportunity to get our own training center in Shakopee, that was a milestone. Because that showed not only that we were committed to the contractor in this local market, but it showed the commitment of the contractor to us and how much they appreciate training and education, especially when it comes to installation. So if you were able, you've been there, there's a nice classroom and everything, but one of the biggest parts of that training facility is the ability to have the different mock-up displays, the different material to install, whether it's commercial, residential, and that allows us to bring contractors and really get into the nitty-gritty of the product. I always tell contractors, hey, listen, with the product that's here, the installers, don't feel bad about making a mistake. That's what we're here for. Make a mistake. I was joking around, to the contractor. I said, the product is free. Right?
Yeah.
Because
you're not going to get back charged for this.
That's one of the biggest things that installers get worried, right? That they're going to mess up. Working for, let's say, Millersberg, and they're on a roof. They're afraid that they're going to make a mistake. So we take them into this training center whenever they want to, with our local trainer, Jonathan, that does a great job here now. And we say, hey, I was just there last week doing a podcast for GAF, and there was a training going on. Yeah. Right. And so to us, the importance of the installation training is the backbone of the companies of roofing. So if you are a salesperson that works for Millersberg and you go out and sell to a homeowner and you talk to a homeowner and tell them about the roof, whether it's a storm restoration project or a homeowner comes to you and wants to buy a roof, and you can confidently say that your installers have been trained by the manufacturer, and because you've seen it, you maybe be part of it, how powerful is that to a homeowner and to the contractor that can confidently say, hey, my manufacturer trained me. I've been to the facility, especially here in Minnesota, where you can say, I've been to the facility in Shakopee. That is valuable, not only to the homeowner, to the contractor, and of course for us, because we know that we put the instructions on that paper, we executed the instructions for you, and then your installers were able to duplicate that. Yeah. And so there's no more powerful tool than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for explaining it that way. That is so true. And it rang something true for me about the training centers too, because theoretically there's not much in it for GAF to have those training centers open. Yeah. It's just a training center. It's not a distribution center. It's not a sales center. It's just training. And that really does emphasize how important that is for GAF to have those open that's free for their contractors and their partners to come join in.
And it's a standalone building. It's an investment.
Yes, I never looked at it that way until you said it that way. And I'm like, that's true. That building is literally just there for training. Mm-hmm. And the training is offered to their contractors and partners for free.
Absolutely. All of our training, unless you're going to an outside agency that we're partnering with, but I would say probably 99% of our training is absolutely free to the contractor.
Yes. Well, we appreciate that so much. Millersberg loves being a partner with GAF. So before I let you go, I have one question that I like to ask a lot of people. What is your best advice for somebody starting out in the roofing industry?
Well, having been there with very little knowledge of roofing, my biggest advice for someone is take your time. Take your time. Don't try to rush or try to pretend that you know what
That.
you're doing.
Yes.
The fact is, roofing is complex. Roofing is misinterpreted. And so don't try to rush. Become a sponge. Absorb everything, the good and the bad, and then you internally will discern what's good, what's bad, and you'll get rid of the bad. Partner with someone that knows. So if you're starting with, for example, with Millersberg, I would say you're in good hands, right? You're in good hands. They will have a lot of tools. Take advantage of whatever it comes your way. If it's training that you're looking for, look for someone that's giving you that training opportunity. There's a lot of roofers that may not be a GAF company, maybe that just get you higher and then give you 2-3 days of training and tell you you're on your way. The fact is you're not going to learn everything in 2-3 days, but there's other companies that will put you through a rigorous training process for you to learn. And you may be a little bit anxious that you want to go out and do your work. Take your time, take advantage of all those tools because they will benefit you at the long run. So my biggest advice is be patient.
Amazing. I think that is really solid advice.
Yep.
So awesome. Thank you so much, Alan, for coming on today. This was so great. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.